It's a fantastic PSA for the PSA. It was awesome this morning, so I'm sure you will learn a lot of information about the PSA. I'm Dr. Jannett Bradford. I'm just here facilitating. And our speaker is Mr. Terry Landreth. It's 6 o'clock and he's just got so much energy. You need to market that. So, excuse me, a couple of housekeeping things. This morning, we went a little long because it was just really interesting and a lot of interaction and people answer questions and ask questions. So we will keep it going as long as you guys are interested. Not everybody gets up. We'll figure that out. We don't want to bore you. Yeah. But we don't want to bore you, but we do want it to be interesting, and we want you all to be interactive. And he's got some questions that you'll have an opportunity to answer. And at the end, if there is time for a Q&A, then we'll just ask you to sort of raise your hand. I'll walk over to you, and I'm not sure if I'm using the mic. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Tom can't hear me on the video. You can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think it's okay. Anyway, but if there are questions, then we'll entertain your questions afterwards as soon as he's finished with this presentation. And if I don't think there's anyone here who has not already filled out a survey, if you filled out a Camden Roundtable survey last month, then we're not asking you to do one again. But we would, if you haven't done so, please let me know. Okay, all right, new face, absolutely. We love new faces. That's fantastic. So I'll get one to you, and then you'll just give it to us at the end. We just want your ideas on what kind of topics you'd like to see. So without any further ado, Mr. Landreth.
Starting gate. Let me double check. Tom, I need a thumbs up. We good? Okay. This is a little strange one here. Thank you for letting me come tonight. I appreciate the roundtable and all the things they do. I appreciate being part of Camden County. My name is Terry Landreth, and I'm a small business owner. I'm a volunteer at the Camden Public Service Authority, and I own Camden Bicycle Center with my family, so many of you guys who come by to see me. We'll put the connection together there. I'm all about connections. I appreciate what Tom and the team are doing, though. This is good. This is good community engagement. That's what we need. Some ideas come across there. I'm a question guy now too. I'm just not going to pump a whole bunch of data at you. I'm going to ask some things. We'll get some things around. At the end tonight, have a quick three question survey, and Miss Trish over there is going to help us out. And then it's real easy. Just how to make the PSA better. It's a couple little things like that, and so we want to see that also. PSA does stand for our Public Service Authority. We're involved in parks and recreation. We do a lot of stuff. Let me get my organization here. Like I said, this little microphone is kind of odd here. Hey, did anybody go to the ballroom dancing? The masquerade ball. Anybody go to the masquerade ball? No? You guys know we had ballroom dancing? Yeah, Trisha, we had ballroom dancing. Incredibly popular. The masquerade ball was a lot of fun too. I did not attend. There's just so many things going on that we can't all be everywhere. Okay, I appreciate once again the opportunity to come here tonight. I spent 22 years on active duty. The Kings Bay brought me here as my last duty station on the submarine. So 20 plus years in the outdoor recreation business, owning a bike shop. Just a little quick reference about that. There's about 140,000 people just in the state of Georgia that work in outdoor recreation. If you think about it real quickly, you'll realize that everybody on Cumberland Island is in the outdoor recreation business. Everybody on Crook River State Park is in the outdoor recreation business. If you sell a fishing rod or a boat, you're in the outdoor recreation business. That'll come back a little bit later. I always tell people, take notes, okay? All right. Did it go away? See, it's got all these buttons on. You're trying to be so careful with this thing.
Something like that. Didn't mean to. All
right.
right.
Just go through my notes here. This will help me stay on track, because if I don't stay on track, I'll be all over the place, and I just need to stay on track. Be aware of the time there also. For the round table, I do appreciate them. Just a quick public service announcement. This weekend we have a Three Rivers ride, and it's actually part of a biking event that goes on downtown St. Mary's. It'll visit many of the parks in the county. It'll go, this is the 9th year it's been organized. It's organized by a group of volunteers, and you may ask yourself, well, why do they do that? They do things like that as a lot of other a lot of other groups in the community do. This particular group, obviously I'm very much associated with them. They raise money for bike racks in our school systems. If you ever wonder where the bike racks come from, that's part of where it comes from, okay? They buy other things that enhance cycling around the community, but it's all about safety and those kind of things there. Welcome to come out on Saturday morning. If you'd like to explore St. Mary's on a little 10-mile jaunt, a 30-mile to Crook River State Park and back, 60-mile to Woodbine and back, or 100 miles all the way to Horse Dam. Okay? But, our county's pretty unique. I'm in awe that this is the place that I have lived the longest. I was on active duty, like I say, for 22 years. I grew up in Georgia, a little community called Peach County. And so that was my hometown. My family still lives up in that area. It's right in the middle of Georgia. But this is where I call home. This is where I call home. And this is very, very much unique, because we have a national park. We have a national seashore, Cumberland Island. We have a state park that's one of the prettiest in the state of Georgia. And Trish over there, she's very much associated with the state park also, does a lot of volunteer work out there. And with the parks and recreation, what I'm trying to show you is, if I say the word park, you may have one picture. If you say the word park, you may have another picture. And there's not an incorrect picture. I like the park element of history. I like the history of our Sugar Mill Tabby Ruin site. Anybody know where that is? The John McIntosh Sugar Mill Tabby Ruin site? It's incredible. If you go back inside there, I've been told that it is one of the favorite locations for photographers. Is it an important location in our community? Yes, it is. It's very much important. Does it get a lot of visitorship for baseball games? Nope. Okay. Does it get a lot of viewers just to go explore the background there? Yes, it does. Very important to our site. Crook River State Park. Visitorship somewhere around 100,000 annually. National Seashore, Cumberland Island. Anybody got idea what the visitorship is there? Any idea? 60,000. Limited to 300 persons a day. 60,000 governed by law. I say it for this reason too. Number one, our state park is at a certain standard. Our national park is at a certain standard. They had a great group of staff members there, great superintendents. Our community parks and county parks should reflect those high standards also. They should be the same. So Sugar Mill Tabby Ruin site should be just as important and just as well maintained as the state park is. Is it tough? Really tough. Really tough. We have a very low staff. It was really tough. Get a kick out of it. Ceylon, Wildlife Management Area. Ceylon. Anybody heard of it? Ceylon. Anybody heard of it? This side of the room knows about it. Ceylon, there was an upper Ceylon and lower Ceylon. There was two separate communities in our area. They're hugged along the Crooked River and along the Satilla River. In the last couple of years, there was a put together, and it's now 26,000 acres of a wildlife management area available for your enjoyment, your hunting, your fishing, your walking, your hiking. It's all available to you, and it's easy to get to. It's got its own trailhead, and it has basically one employee for 26,000 acres, and he's known as a game warden. And so it is incredible out there. These are just all pieces of the puzzle. Do we send maintenance teams to the wildlife management area? No. These are just part of the pieces of the puzzle that we call home in Camden County here, and they're all important pieces there. So if you haven't had a chance to visit Ceylon, you can drive your car and go right to the primitive campsites. You can see some of the, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. It is untouched. Untouched. There's just no built structures out there. The river is natural. Everything is great. I'll be glad to talk to you after we're finished tonight. Okay, so that's good. But we also have the community parks, and those community parks and neighborhood parks. Howard People Park, right down the road here, right down the from Gross Road, the most popular daytime park there is in our community, Howard People's Park. Can you name how many activities going at Howard People's Park?
Pickleball, there's the frisbee golf.
Disc golf.
There's disc golf. There's obviously the rec area for the kids, the swings and the playground. There's baseball, football,
Basketball. Yeah, we keep piling stuff in there because people still want to go there. Should the standards be high? Yes, they should be high. The maintenance should be high. Everything should be ready to go, and safety should be high. All those kind of things. But they should all start to mirror each other. I like Howard People's Park. It's a neighborhood type park. It's actually pretty small. The actual footprint of it. Behind it is a nature preserve known as Gum Branch Nature Preserve. It's about 300 acres. And that's what the disc golf is actually built on, the nature preserve. It's deed restricted, but that's once again, just a unique opportunity inside of our county that we can be proud of because we're citizens here, and we can also promote. We want to invite people in. I'm not going to go through the economics of outdoor tourism. I have all those numbers too. I'm not going to go through those numbers, but I want to be more community focused tonight. I want to be more community focused what's available to you as a citizen inside of our
county lines here. Inside it.
Try to make it different tonight since you heard it.
You guys
Already heard it. Okay. I like being close too. I hope you guys don't mind that. Okay, I'm not back here. Oh boy. So the word parks, and so as we talk about tonight, I'm going to move into a little bit more of parks that have to do with regular youth recreation also. We're going to move that direction also. I just wanted to kind of, if we took it from high to low, the thing that's in between there is a nature and history in between there. Nature and history. If you go to Cumberland Island, you're typically a nature lover. Or you're a history lover. You go to Crooker State Park, Trish and I were talking about this, you're a fisherman. Or a fisher person, okay? You're a fisherman. So there's connections there also. If I told you we had a pond called Nodder's Pond, anybody familiar with that? Nodder's Pond? Nodder's Pond is where the St. Mary's police officers hold the Cops and Bobbers fishing tournament. Cops and Bobbers.
Is it important?
At that time of year it is, yeah. So parks have an incredible spot in my heart. I love them. I think they're incredibly important for all things we do each and every day. And here's the thing too. There's a lot of things around in our neighborhood and all things you can't be involved in. You can be involved in our parks. You can go this afternoon after we finish and go to Howard People's Park, or you can go over to Lions Field and go watch a ball game or the youth sports going on tonight. It's all available to you. All you got to do is drive over there and park your car. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect.
But we're working
working really hard.
Do it that way.
I hope that local historical aspect comes out also. If you haven't thought about that, if you haven't thought about visiting one of these parks that have a lot of history behind it, like the McIntosh Ruin Site. McIntosh Ruin Site, I've done a deep history on that. The Navy actually hired the University of Florida to come in and do seismic understanding when they were building the dry dock at Kings Bay. They wanted to make sure that when they were building the dry dock, although it's so far away, that they didn't disturb that structure that's standing there. That's the largest tabby structure standing on the East Coast. It is pretty unique also. But I do believe in the power of parks. The power of parks is incredible because they touch all of our lives each and every day. You need to take a little stress off, go take a walk in the park. Walk the disc golf course. That even if you don't play disc golf, go walk the course. You'll find that it's marked really well. You can see things. It's really neat to go inside there. But just take a walk inside there. I believe that parks are those cities and towns that are investing in parks are those places that are highly desire to live, work, and play. And we're really unique here. If you knew how many parks we take care of, we got 26 different recreation areas we take care of in the PSA. We're touching those kind of places each and every day with a minimum of staff. But it's because the staff has a heart to serve, and they want to be servants into the community, and they want you to have the highest quality of life you can possibly have inside there. If I name a couple of parks, I'm going to do a little test question here to find out if you know where those are at. But our local parks
are they're super desirable.
If I said,
this thing here, it's not my notes.
the parks do encourage an active lifestyle. I was asking my wife, her name is Darlene, and
We have 7 grandkids now, and on December 8th, we'll have number 8. 4 boys, 4 girls. I like that setup, okay?
And so I said, hey, listen, I got to run down to the annex and do this thing tonight.
PSA. She goes, I said, where are you headed to?
I knew she was going to a park. She goes, well, I'll be at the high school, and then one of the kids are playing at the high school, and then one's over at Lions Field. I said, you want me to go to Lions Field when I finish up? I said, well, I think I can. She goes, yeah, you go to Lions Field. I'm going to the high school. I said, okay. So that's not stress. If you want to have a good time, go watch some of these kids play ball. Go watch a PB football game. Yeah, that's not stress. Although I got to rush across town, I don't care. I'm going to go do it.
I'll do it.
Parks are for an active lifestyle. I want my grandkids to be active. I want them to have I want them to be super healthy. It's the day they were born. I was so proud of all of them. But, I want them to have an active lifestyle. I want them to have parks available to them. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons I know it's the reason. It's not because of anything else but my grandkids. I want them to have parks available to them. I want to take them out and explore Ceylon. We can do that. All right, so I got a little test question here. If I said the word linear park, somebody give me a definition. You know what I mean by a linear park? Linear park. Linear. Straight line. Okay. Woodbine Riverwalk. Anybody visit that? Woodbine Riverwalk is one of our largest parks in our organization of PSA. Woodbine Riverwalk is 4 miles. 4 miles.
Is that like a crawfish festival?
For the Crawfish Festival. That's where the Crawfish Festival is at, and it goes up. And the linear park is where, like I say, once again, the Crawfish Festival happens there. It has a connecting piece to it that's pretty unique between the neighborhoods. Do we play ball? Do we play soccer? No. Do we walk and look at the birds? And all the trees up there are marked with their scientific name to it also. So it's a pretty unique park. It connects a lot of things up in Woodbine. It was a former railroad that went through Woodbine, and that railroad was known as the Silver Meteor. There was a passenger service that went through there. Once again, that historical connection there also. Could it have been years ago, the former mayor up there was named Burford Clark, could he have and his team just said, well, let's just cover it up and do something else with it? I guarantee you couldn't take that trail away from Woodbine. That's their identity. That trail, that linear park right there is their identity. And so between the communities using it and walkers, you got there at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's people walking on it. I know because it's got lights on it. Okay. The Eliza Rudolph family is just south of it, and they've been great to work with, and so we tried to be respectful for that. We put in the second section of that trail, and it does play a big part. So Woodbine uses that linear park a little bit different than other places. White Oak, everybody know where White Oak is? White Oak has 3.5 miles of linear park. Okay, and they have a separate park that's called Charlie's Park, and it's a pretty cool little playground equipment is there. But the White Oak Park has a fishing pier on it. The fishing pier is very important for those people who enjoy fishing. Once again, we're not just about kids football or kids basketball. We're about parks for our community and meeting the needs of those folks in the community. My personal side is that history side. I just get a big kick out of learning more things about our history, and it's neat when you can connect a park to your history, because then you can relax a little bit and have a good time. You get a walk in and explore. All right, so I say that because the Woodbine Riverwalk is an important part of Camden County as a whole, and it took a lot of effort to get that in there, and it took a lot of foresight, and it takes a lot of effort to keep the grass cut and the cracks sealed up and all those kind of things here. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. Again and again and again. You're going to find that I'm the guy. If you say we have too many parks, I'm going to argue with you. Okay? We need more parks, more green space, more linear parks, more access to more parks all the time. So I want to tell you about another linear park, though. Linear park, this one's very short. If I had to put a a tape measure on it, I'm going to say 1 mile or less. 1 mile or less. It's linear. It's about 12 feet wide. Okay? Shaded with trees. You know? No. That's all right. Yeah, see ya. Activity in the hallway. Linear park. This particular linear park is not associated with the Camden PSA, but it's important because I like to show this because it has a significant impact every single day of our school kids. And that linear park is a trail network that goes to Crooked River Elementary School. The highest number of walkers is Crooked River Elementary School. The highest number of bike riders is Crooked River Elementary School. Are anybody familiar with this trail I'm talking about? Familiar with it? It goes to the base. It goes right to the base housing. The kids from Crooked River Phase 2, Phase 1 and 2 can enter the gate, come down the perimeter road, go to the school at the same time. Most people don't know it, but the principal of Crooked River Elementary School holds the key to the base. Oh, there's a gate right there. She opens that gate up. The kids come into school. Their bikes are on the other side. If you go by there, examine the bike racks. The bike racks are actually on the base side. They're on the base side. There's about 7 bike racks there, and they're full every day. That linear park, that trail in Greenway, now provides opportunities for the kids to walk to school or bike to school. And it's not interrupted by a car, a school bus, or any other thing except that is important to them. I say it for this reason. I have a desire that all of our schools could have more walkers, more bike riders. And our kids don't get enough activity until they go in the afternoon time to go play ball this afternoon. They can walk and ride the bike to school. I guarantee there's some folks in the room here that did that. I did it. But every neighborhood, every subdivision should be close proximity to parks. Does it take some effort to do that? Yes, it takes a lot of effort to do that. It's not going to be happening, right overnight. So if we talk about parks, linear parks are typically called greenways or rail trails. Rail trails, anybody familiar with that term? Rail trails are abandoned railroads. They can become linear parks. A greenway is simply, if you look at the two of them side by side, a rail trail and a greenway, they look exactly the same. But you can't have a rail trail unless you have an abandoned railroad. Okay, but a greenway, every part of town can have a greenway going through there. We ought to have greenways connecting our parks. We ought to have greenways connecting our neighborhoods. They provide extra transportation. They provide a lot of benefits. And like I say, we could have a whole discussion on the economic side of those and what it brings to I'd rather focus on those things that help people every single day. If it's somebody going to work, if it's somebody going to school, and that's their mode of transportation, perfect. It helps. There's no better investment in our communities than our parks. It is great. So, all right, I'm going to move in a little bit closer to home here. This document, some people said this morning, that is huge. It is huge. I've been through this whole thing. This is called a master plan. And one of the things that our PSA, back in 2021, during the height of COVID, the very height of COVID, March 2020, we started this document, and it's called a Parks and Recreation Master Plan. The Camden PSA felt it was important to invest in a team to come down and give us some guidance and direction. So this is the document that we go by. If I'm on the PSA board, I'm telling you, this thing is not going to sit on the shelf. We're going to keep this thing up and active all the way around. And let me tell you this. Steve is on our PSA board with us also, just so you know, some other folks there. And but if have questions afterwards about PSA, we'll do that. This master plan, though, is where a lot of my information comes from, a lot of our guidance comes from. Was this tough? It was tough for all of us during COVID. What was the one thing that happened during COVID? You know what? More people went outside. More people went outside. More people went outside and enjoyed nature a little bit more. Our national parks, our state parks, chock-a-block full of people. So with that, this guides us for the next 10 years. So here's the question right now. According to the Camden County Public Service Authority Master Plan, this master plan goes from 2022 to 2032. What is our expected population growth? Any idea? Expected to go to 55,000. So we're about 52 right now, 53,000. Not crazy numbers, but that's a 10-year span inside there. those more important. So what about our average age? What's our community's age? Anybody know? These folks know over here. Okay. They got the information this morning. Any ideas? 45 doesn't sound bad, does it? Okay. Anybody here, who 45, 40 to, let's say 40 to 50. That sound reasonable?
30 to 40.
30 to 40? I'll get it a little bit closer for you. It's 32 years old. 32 years old. Okay. You know how many folks we have in the school systems? Of those, there's 10,000 in our school system. 10,000. We have 9 elementary schools. 9 elementary schools, 2 middle schools. 2 middle schools, 1 high school. We want every one of those kids to have an opportunity to use one of our parks. So this master plan did a couple things for us. Number one, it gave us data that we can use and go by and plan for. Data. That really does help. When you're trying to make decisions, you're trying to spend money wisely, you got to have the right data to move forward also. It tells us certain things where we need to do park replacement or add additional parks. It gives us information like that. It gives us park usage. It gives us radius of how far a park is away from the populated areas. It does a lot of things for us. But I needed a matrix. I told the folks this morning when we were working with the team from Lowe's Design, I said, I need a quick matrix. Tell me how we can find out, those growth activities, where it's going to, where it's headed to. And the guy said, I thought he'd say, elementary schools, or look at your graduating class, or where it was going to. He goes, nope, pre-K. Look at pre-K numbers. He goes, if you look at pre-K numbers, those numbers are the same numbers that's going to be later on in your rec park. They're going to be playing in your ball fields. They're going to be doing this in the school system. Look at the pre-K. And so far, they're right. They're right. The numbers are tracking. So we have a young population. Is that fair to say? 32 seems pretty young to me now. Okay. All those grandkids I have, they seem pretty young. It seems pretty young. So our guiding document is our master plan. It's available. You can look at it online. If you have some curiosities about it, please pull it down, ask us about it. But this was a hard look at our parks also. They graded our parks. Not only classified them by acreage and what to do that, they actually graded our parks. And they were tough on us. They were tough. That's the only way to say it. They were really tough on us. And so those kind of things, from not having the correct amount of mulch under a playground equipment, to getting rid of a restroom that's out of service, to things like the St. Mary's pool. Okay? We didn't make those decisions easy. We had some guidance. We had some directions. They were tough on the grading. They also compared us to other communities. And those other communities like Carrollton, Georgia, or Canton, Georgia, we were compared in similar size and population. So those comparison numbers there from between staff and funding, good information there also. Carrollton, Georgia is recognized as one of those gold standards in parks and recreation. Tell you what, they don't have a state park like ours. They don't have a national seashore like ours. And they don't have 10,000 people in school, I don't think. Okay, but good comparison though. So this is the document that we move forward with inside the organization as the board members. This is what we have strategic plans with that we move forward with also. Is it perfect? No. It's a living document that we're going to pick up every time we can to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And this is just a guide for us also. I appreciate the folks that came down and helped us with this. They were very diligent. You'll see this is a great document, but it's worthless if we don't take it down and read it. Okay? So we have to do that. And that's one thing we put on ourselves also. We have to do that. I'm telling you, nobody likes to be evaluated. But when you're evaluated hard like this document does, it's eye-opening. And so we want to get things right. So where are we going to here? I mentioned that White Oak Trail. Our newest trail in the community, since I'm right there, is the Laurel Island Parkway. If you've been on that 4-lane extension there, there's actually, if you haven't walked it or anything, it's 5 miles. On the Laurel Island side, the north side is 5 miles. It goes all the way across the interstate. It's a good connecting piece between our community. If you want to walk or ride your bike or just exercise or push a stroller or walk your dog, it's a great opportunity. So with that, we have 3.5 miles of trails inside of White Oak. We have 4 miles in Woodbine, and we have 5 miles on Laurel Island. That's typical for a community. Your trail system starts hopscotching like that. We connect it all together. It'd be a lot, just so much better for everybody. Then it moves into Camden, into St. Mary's there also. Ready? You ready? All right. Once again, just want to kind of get a little bit local here today, and let me just I want to brag on the staff of the PSA, and you know, it's they got to be servants. Number one, that's number one, because we don't have anybody who are millionaires in the PSA. They're working hard every day, and I want to kind of put some numbers together today so you can see that. The front staff, they just, you know, they always got a smiling face on, and it's just, they just have a servant's heart. This particular building here is very popular. 1993, I think it was built. It served a long time. Do a lot of things inside that building. And as I go through this part of the presentation, just so you know, we have 8 major departments inside the PSA when we do funding mechanisms, okay? So those funding mechanisms have 8 separate departments. Every department has a department head, have a manager inside of it, trying to be very, very streamlined in the funding mechanism. But this is a big picture of our parks. I wish every park that we had in the community mimic this building right here. I wish every single one of them did that. They don't, but we're trying to get better. Those doors right there open about 1,000 times a day for folks coming in and out of that park. And it's amazing. I actually had the staff pull me a usage. And what I mean by that is, what's happening inside this building? I already told you we had ballroom dancing, okay? Super popular. Anybody else name me? What's the last time you went in this building? Yeah? Oh, that's right. We vote there. It's a voting precinct. It's a voting precinct. CRF uses it every quarter for job fairs, and it is packed inside there. We have a community room inside there. We use it as an evacuation center also. Any type of natural disaster emergency inside this building. We host cheer, aquatics classes, gymnastics classes, all sorts of things happen inside this. This department is known as our facilities and admin. So it's where our staff is at. It's where they're housed at inside there. You're welcome to go inside there. It's the only place, you know, most of the other government buildings, they want you in and out. You go buy your tag and get out, okay? This one, we want you to stay. We want you to go to a class. We want you to use the tot drop so that you can go. We have a tot drop in there for the youngsters, and moms and dads can go work out. We have a gymnastics class in there that's really full. You'll see some more of that. This is the facilities. So I had to pull some of the things that go on inside here. Competitive cheer, gymnastics classes, the Stingrays, that's the team. The racquetball courts in there, off the rockers are in there, exercise class, ballroom dancing. Thigh Call Memorial has things there. We train all of the coaches that are volunteer coaches for our youth. They do certification classes inside here, which you want. You want to have your coaches trained. It just, everything. And I brought up one, it's kind of funny. Sorry. This morning. It was all I'm going to say, we do that there? And so they do car seat safety checks there for the sheriff's department, state troopers. Remember, our average age is 32 years old. Our hospital is popular over there, okay, for babies, okay? And so those 32-year-olds are in minivans, and they need to have the right seats. And so that's the location that we can do car seats. And it's never a hiccup. I'm talking about you go and that staff that are serving the community every single day, and they say we need to do car seat checks here. TRF needs to do a job fair. A church needs to have a small group session there. It's going to happen inside there. We're going to do things in there. Yes, sir. Silver sneakers. Unbelievable. All right, let me get back to my number. You ready? All right, so everybody understand the, yes, sir, the seals.
I want to make sure, I'm trying to figure out I don't know, I think I know where the building is. Is it over there by the high school?
By the high school, yeah.
Okay.
Right, the high school. I know it's kind of a strange picture. Nobody takes a picture of the building. We try to keep it as a showpiece for the county. I mean, the grounds and everything. It's got 30 years on it now, so it's got a lot of use. The numbers, the daily totals are 1,000 persons a day on average come through those doors. And so we have more people in that building that goes to Cumberland Island, okay, and a lot less room. All right, so all right, ready? All right, this is kind of cool. This is a picture of the basketball, and the numbers I'm going to show you. Some of the things. I hope this is of interest to you. They should be. They're our kids in the community. They're the ones going to school right here. They're the ones, out riding around. Basketball. 704 kids signed up for basketball. 704. Okay. It's an incredible number. Now, this is 12 years and under. Okay, 12 years and under. And the numbers I'm going to give you sometimes even surprise me, and I have the staff write up numbers so we know as they flow what's happening there also. I just love data. So it just comes in there. So 700 kids playing basketball. The next one I'm going to give you is not a duplicated number. It's not this plus. These are different sports, different kids doing different things. Okay? Any idea how many basketball goals? If you've been to a job fair, how many basketball goals are inside the rec center? 6. So how do you put 700 kids playing basketball in the community with only 6 basketball goals? You use every elementary school. We use every single one of the elementary schools. Okay? And this is what we talked about this morning. If 710 kids want to play basketball, we're going to figure out a way to do it. If it's 800 next year, we're going to figure out a way how to do it. We're going to keep going. We don't want to turn kids away. We want to make sure that that's kind of the mantra as we move forward. We don't want to turn kids away. It's okay. They don't have to be the greatest basketball players. That's okay. We're going to do that. Next one. Oh, it's just a quick one there. They just go back one. They were just doing. It's okay. They were just doing basketball drills inside there. They were special that day because they got the whole court. Okay. All right. Go to the next one. So, let me just mention this also. So, the Board of Education lets us use all the elementary schools, and the Public Service Authority. We do all the assignments and the coaches and all the training. But I really like the dialogue we have with the Board of Education. They could say, no, we don't want to open our schools up after dark. We don't get out of there sometimes 9 o'clock. They're playing basketball. They're moving. So, but it's a great resource that we have available to us also. And it's closer for the kids sometimes. They're playing basketball. This is one of the things I think, one of the reasons basketball is popular, the close proximity. You don't have to drive a long ways. You can go to a local elementary school. If your team plays there, that logistics element starts working easier for moms and dads. Okay. Baseball, softball. There tonight. Okay. Baseball and softball. All right, I have to put in a little shameless plug here. That's my grandson. Okay, he's a little left-handed catcher. That's my grandson right there. He's gonna throw somebody out on second base. I guarantee you. All right, he loves that. Next picture. That's my granddaughter. Okay. That was pretty cool. We had those pictures. So yeah, they love to play. That's over at Lions Field right there. Lions Field playing baseball over there. Anybody count up the number of baseball fields we have? Quickly? Anybody know? I know Steve knows pretty quickly. Any idea? That we can play, not just where you can practice at, where you can play at. They got to have restrooms. They got to have parking lots. Got to have concessions. You can't just open up a field and invite, 40 people to come by your location without having some accessories available to you. Not that many. Not that many. 13, that's pretty high. 5, 6, 7, 8. Playable.
Yeah, playable because there's 4 in St. Mary's, but only really 2 are playable.
923. 923. I hope those numbers don't surprise you. We're just a young community. We have a lot of kids around, okay? It's a young community. The word parks for these young folks may have a different picture, but parks are available for everybody. Yeah, I get a kick out of that picture right there. Okay. I'm going to keep that one. Next one. 900. Football. Football. 536. Now, the middle school picks up football in the 7th grade. So this is 6th grade and under, so 12 years and under. Each one of those helmets is $185. Okay? Next slide. Gotta have cheerleaders. Gotta have cheerleaders. They get the biggest kick when they get to go to the football stadium and do cheer on the football stadium. Next slide. Track. This is pretty cool too. Track is a growing sport and super active. 185 kids came out and played track. 2 years ago, we had some under 14 that took state championships. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were really good, really, really good. So, how many tracks do we have? One. One. Next one. Soccer complex. Everybody know what a soccer complex is at? Okay. Par 3 golf course over there. Any idea how many kids? You've seen the numbers already. They average out. It's consistent. Well, 600. 600 kids. Now, soccer is a little bit different. Soccer is what we call a sports provider program. And that sports provider, we take care of the surface. They take care of all the kids, the coaches, all the scheduling. They take care of all that internally. They're a sports provider. It works out very well. We get a stipend of each kid that signs up. They are able to attract kids out of the community also. So soccer, more soccer, more soccer. But yeah, we basically have one field. I'm going somewhere with this. Aquatics. About 45 kids are in the aquatics class, okay? So the folks this morning, when I see that picture there, I see that pool, that chlorine. I see it's heated. It's all dollar signs. It's all dollar signs inside there. But yeah, aquatics. So we've had soccer, aquatics, basketball, track, cheer. These are programs that the PSA offers through the staffing, and we do it. They do it with gladness. And every association with every one of these pictures, there's a family member behind it. There's a coach behind it. There's kids. It's not just a kid. Those 900 kids playing softball, moms and dads show up. It's just incredible what's going on around here. Okay, next one, partner. Aquatics. Okay, so there's the basketball facility been swapped over to an aerobics room inside there for strength training. And I don't have numbers of how many do that. Those are daily classes that happen. Next slide. Weight rooms, real common. Next slide. This one. Anybody visit a gymnastics facility that we have? Been back there? Been back there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? Okay. Very overcrowded. Way too much going on. That's right. The numbers for gymnastics, let me tell you this one. The football, $185 per helmet, okay? Those helmets have to be rotated out every 3 years. They have to be certified. Got to be right, okay? And we want that, okay? Gymnastics is 100% a surplus for the PSA. It is a surplus sport, and it was one of the things through our PSA and through our community engagement, highly recommended that we build a new gymnastics facility to support gymnastics in our community because it is growing. So gymnastics is one of those few things, and this one really hurts. We have to turn kids away. Turn kids away. That one's tough. That's a real tough one right there. And so, but if you've been inside the facility, if you have not, go see the front staff and say, "Can I get a tour?" They'll give you a tour all day long, and it is absolutely phenomenal back there. It's packed. Everything, and we do competitive cheer in there too. Competitive cheer. If you want to have an interesting topic, Dr. Bradford, sports tourism as a topic, and we can get you a state of Georgia expert on sports tourism. I will be in the audience, or I will be fitness, gymnastics. So these are all different department heads inside the funding mechanism for the PSA. Next slide. Oh yeah, off the rocker. Same facility, Same basketball court. You've seen basketball drills. You've seen now off the rockers. What was the other thing they were doing? They were doing something else inside there. We trained the coaches inside there. So now it's flipped around again. Hey, guess what? You see all those chairs out there? They did not get set up by themselves. Okay? It's one person over there that handles all those things to be ready to go inside there. They get scheduled and it goes. It's unbelievable how it happens. Most of the things under special programs is what we call revenue neutral. So this program here, revenue neutral. Next one. Special steps. Anybody seen this? This is incredible. We had a family, Marcia, here in town. She has a couple of special needs kids. She was looking for some social interaction with them. She came over to the PSA with Allison from the Chamber of Commerce and said, hey, can we borrow a room for some social interacting with the special needs kids? And this one has grown. You go over on Thursday morning and you want to get your heart tugged. They may be doing walking or basketball. They're doing something and they're excited and they're growing. It'll really, really, really touch you. Also, it was real simple for us too. Next slide. Disc golf. I don't know how many folks are using it. This thing is so self-sufficient. It's got an app that you look on the app, and that's how you go play disc golf. And so it keeps your score and it tells you where you're at. It's very interactive, very neat. So yeah, real proud of this. How did disc golf get here? Any ideas? Any ideas? Somebody asked for it, number one. His name was Andrew Guthrie. Andrew Guthrie was a second-class Coast Guard guy. Andrew, he came by my store one day. He says, I was doing something else for him. He goes, hey, Terry, disc golf. I said, what? What is that? I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't really have a clearest understanding of it. In my picture, I was thinking about a manicured golf course. When he said golf, I'm thinking a manicured 7,000-acre golf course. And he goes, I said, Andrew, I don't completely understand it, but I'll put you in touch with the right people. I said, man, that's a lot of property, a lot of room we got to have. I said, we got to cut down a lot of trees. Oh, no. We love trees. We want trees. We want more. I'm like, okay. So got him in touch with a couple of folks, and actually on the team came down a landscape architect out of Florida to set up and design the course, and that's why it is a very professional course, and it's also can host tournaments. It can host different tournaments, and it is an activity that, once again, you can explore nature and you can have a good time doing it. Revenue neutral. Camden pickleball, about 90 players. Anybody play? Anybody in the room? Okay, about 90. Am I right? Close numbers? Probably more than that.
More every day of the week or almost.
Every more. You need more? You need more pickleball courts?
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
They come out with tennis courts to make them. So
I know.
They need another one.
I know. A young man by the name of Jerry Goodson came, and he was a gentleman that lived here for quite a few years, and he started talking about pickleball, and I said, Jerry, follow me. We're going to figure this out here. And so we got him over, and I just want to tell you, it's not I have the opportunity to talk to a lot of people during the day, but there's things that we don't have here that other communities have. We need more soccer. We need more pickleball. We need more. So we need more parks. I'm that guy. I'm that guy that's going to say more parks, more greenways, more trails, more activity. So yeah, I appreciate having a staff that listens, that's engaging, and they want to move things forward. Also, was it tough to get pickleball in there? Not really. I mean, it took a little bit of a bush hog, but nothing real crazy inside there. Poured some concrete, put some stuff up, ready to go. Just kind of a scroll through here. Next thing. We do lifeguard training there. We move up to about in the summertime during camp and summer camps. There's about 90 employees when it goes down to part-time employees for this. Kind of a cool thing too. The county and city of St. Mary's actually sponsored swim lessons in the last 2 years for the community, and all they had to do was sign up. They were completely free. Those were good. So, this drives summertime employment drives up high. We have about 22 full-time employees, and then we have a whole bunch of seasonal employees. And that's good for the community, because if you've got a youngster that's in school someplace else, maybe in college, they need a summertime job, and they want to get in the pool, that's a good one. Next one. Summer camp, always popular. We have the best summer camp in the area. Next one. Dodgeball, Saturday morning. Go get hit in the head. Ballroom dancing. Is that the last one? No, it's another one. That's part of the ballroom dancing. Okay. All right, and Miss Jeannie, you swap sides there. Did I introduce you to anything new tonight? Anything new? Or is this new? This is the same old information that you've already had, that you knew that was happening in the PSA? Do the numbers of the kids playing, does that surprise you? You know the ballroom dancing? That's right. Sweetheart dance, Easter egg hunt, trunk or treat, those things happened the last week. Camden Olympics, that was just back in there. See, the senior center, we take care of the senior center up in Woodbine. That's just a quick photo of them. That's the last one, yeah. I just wanted to show you there's many activities that happen. If you just think it's one-dimensional or it's just a youth baseball field or just a youth soccer field, there's so much more going on inside those parks there also. We have dog parks we take care of. This is Tom Casey. We now have 3 dog parks. Are they the best? No, they're not the best. Okay, we have 3 dog parks. They have one in Kingston now, one in St. Mary's, one in Woodbine. The one in Woodbine is very popular. This is down in St. Mary's. Next one. Charlie Easter. Anybody know where it is? Charlie Easter Park? Nobody? White Oak, it sure is, up in White Oak. White Oak has got a lot of history up inside there. The railroad had a water station up there. It's got their own post office. White Oak. This little park over there, Cornelius Jackson Memorial Park. I got to say, I'm not sure, Miss Jackson, I'm not sure who she is. But I do know this neighborhood park right here is rented out a lot. Mrs. Young from the city administrator up in Woodbine was here this morning, and that park is rented a lot for family picnics and reunions, and it's right downtown. It's located near the Ralph Bunche School and historical Ralph Bunche School. I was doing something up there one day, and this lady, she was went to Ralph Bunche School, and we may have been walking around this park or something, and she just sort of stopped and has one of these moments of memory, you know, she just sort of like stopped, as Dr. Brandon said, gray-haired moment, and she just sort of stopped a moment. I said, what's the matter? She goes, we had so much fun at Ralph Bunche. We had so much fun. And she just went back into a memory that was like, we had so much fun there. And I hope that through all those years and all those things that's there, I hope that we're thinking about having fun also. Some exercise, some youth activities, some sports, some nature watching, you know, whatever we're doing. But I hope we're having fun with our parks also. Next one. Boat ramps. We take care of several boat ramps in the area. Go ahead. That's at Harris Bluff. That's about a 21-acre park up there, big community park. And this is a park, I just want to identify this one a second. We can't host 900 kids playing baseball up here. You see that? So this park has a different classification. It's a neighborhood park, good for family reunions, good for quick things. You know, it's got a basketball court. It's got a playground. It's a good neighborhood park. I'd like to have more of these. That's Howard Peoples Park over there. If we could crowd anything else in this thing. Okay, next one. Slides. I put this up here because slides are expensive. Okay, slides are expensive. That's the only right here. That slide right there is about $5,000 to replace that slide. It's expensive, and they do wear out. They have a life service. We have to replace them. The whole equipment setup is over $40,000 for every one of those playgrounds you see. They're expensive. Next one is one of our dog parks up in Woodbine. The cool thing about this one is, you see where it says Camden County High School skill students? They built all the structures up there for that. That was very popular. A friend of mine from Osprey Cove drives up there, John Royal. He drives up there every day with his puppies to go there. Any idea? Lions Park. Lions Park. Pretty good view like that, isn't it? Lions Park. It was remodeled about a dozen years ago. I pointed out this morning, you'll see 4 baseball fields. The Miracle League is back there. Miracle League's in the back. There's a skate park in the back. Up front here in the front corner, there's some pitching locations so kids can practice pitching. There's a playground. There's a basketball court, restrooms, concession stands. Public Works is over here. The smallest part of that is the parking lot. Okay, have you been to a game over there on Grove, South Grove, when we've got a game going on? Oh, my stars. It's fortunate we have parking on the street here, but you would definitely want to avoid that area if there's an activity going on there. I'm going somewhere with that. But those are 4 diamonds that we have that are available for games. Lake St. Mary's. Next slide. Aquatic Center in St. Mary's. Same thing. It's kind of its sole purpose is the Aquatic Center. It just happens to have the library. It happens to have 2 baseball fields in the back that we cannot use when the aquatic center is going on. It has basketball courts that, if we get our rathers, we'll put pickleball somewhere in this vicinity, but we will not do it on a tennis court again. We'll go ground up. We'll do it brand new. So that's one thing we need to do. Very useful. Is that Maple Ford, up near Spring Bluff. This is a field only for practice. We don't do games up here. Okay. Is that a voting? There's a voting precinct up there. Yeah. Browntown. Is that Browntown? Yeah. Browntown. Oh, that's Mary Smart. Mary Smart up in Tarboro. Okay. This is Notter's Pond. That's at Cops and Bobbers. Okay. Wouldn't you like to see more of that? You know, more fishing lakes, more fishing opportunities around. I think that's pretty cool. Anybody ever been to the Go Fish Center up in Perry, Georgia? Part of the DNR, where they teach all about kids. They teach all things about the fishing environment inside of our state. It is a
Georgia National Fair.
right there at the Georgia National Fair, right there on the same grounds. Yeah. Some more of that. Soccer complex. Let's just hold up right here just a second. Okay, hold this one right here. This is where I'm going to slide into neutral here for a second. Soccer complex was a former par 3 golf course. That complex was a driving range at one time for golf balls. It was in trying to reimagine as a soccer complex. Anything pretty about that to you? It doesn't say anything special, does it? How many kids we have playing soccer? Over 600. We have baseball going on. We have aquatics going on. We have soccer going on. We cannot host any type of regional recreation events. You know what I'm saying? So if a soccer wants to have a regional event, there's not enough. There's only one restroom out here for all this. So we put porta potties on the side here. These facilities right here, those buildings at the bottom there, those are the maintenance barn for the PSA. That's where we keep our equipment at inside there. It's just a lay down area for that. So that's a parking lot, and then the fields, they divide the fields up. They have practice out there. But this is not, it's not desirable for hosting events. Same thing with baseball. Same thing with basketball. Same thing with track. We got to fix this problem because we're sending a lot of money on sports tourism out of our community. We're sending it out. Yes, sir.
I'm on the Camden soccer board.
Good.
I volunteer and I fill my tank, hands my tank, and I just got finished finding fields for games
This weekend. Hey, if I get the numbers right, 600? 600 a season. Yeah, season.
The parking lot, we have to park all the way out to the church.
All the way out to the church. Yeah. It's exactly the same problem on Grove when we're trying to hold a baseball game. It's the exact same thing in St. Mary's when we're doing a football for Pee Wee football. It's exactly, we just mimic that over and over. So this is one of those things why we spent the money on the master plan, why we were graded, we were classified, we were looking at it. And we know that we're a young community. We're still growing. We know what the numbers are going for next 10 years, about 55,000. We've got to accommodate. We've got to start doing that. Next slide. Boat ramps. That was up at Glenn County line. This park has been completely reimagined. This is the St. Mary's Rec Park. From these 2 fields, they were all taken out. Everything was taken out. Took a while. We did it all during COVID. It's got brand new LED lighting. It's got it has 3 fields that line up now. It's got new bleachers. It's got a new concession stand. It's got a new parking area. On this particular field, we host a lot of sports events during the day. So when you're talking sports tourism, what you have to line up with is hotel rooms. And you have to have regional locations that you can put teams to do games in the morning, games in the afternoon, lunch during the middle of the day, those kind of things. Yes. All right. So here's a question back to me. Somebody asked me. We'll let Mr. Soccer answer. Ask me which sport I would like to host in Camden County. Everybody agree? Soccer? Okay. Softball? Soccer goes a lot to Jekyll, lot to Jacksonville. Okay, remember, I sit on the PSA board, me and Steve. We're worried about the budget all the time. We're looking for opportunities to bring monies into the community for hosting events. We would like to scholarship every player we possibly can to play soccer in all different sports that's out there. I would love to do that. I'd like to get our gymnastics facility out. But if you ask me which sport I would like to host, cheer and gymnastics. Okay? That's what we want to host because they pay the most. Okay? They stay in your hotels longer. They eat more often in your restaurants. And what's that equate to? Splosh dollars. Okay? We want to host cheer, competitive cheer, and competitive gymnastics. Oh, man. The only thing on number 2 from that one, girls basketball. Boys will pile up in one room in your hotel. Mama is not letting girls pile up. They buy 6 rooms. Okay? So when you talk sports tourism and you start putting those economic things together, we're sending a lot of our sports, a lot of good athletes, a lot of good kids. We're sending them to Jessup. They go play in Jessup for regional tournaments. That track team, I don't know where they were playing at, but I think it was Savannah. This has got to stop. We have to look at ourselves internally and making sure that we're thinking about hosting events, and because that'll take and lessen the burden for taxpayers. That's all it comes down to. And we can do that. We just have to reimagine some things like we did this park here. We're reimagining that, trying to make it, a little bit better for training and those kind of things. But there's no hotels near here. There's no restaurants near here. It's in a neighborhood stuck in there. Next slide, please. Anybody? Any idea? Any idea? Huh? What's the name of it? Sweetwater Park. Sweetwater Park. Sweetwater Park's pretty cool. It's got a basketball. It's a great place right here for family reunions and things. Got a kitchen inside there, restrooms inside there. Got a nice playground, big open area. One of the most popular activities here. I can't put any data to this. Practicing golf. Okay, a lot of people take their golf clubs out there and go practice golf. If you'll see that little green spot back there in the back, which is pretty cool. We used to have a group that came up from Jacksonville. That's a cricket for the game of cricket. And if you've ever seen it played, it's pretty cool. But I don't know all the rules to it, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, sits out there in Point Peter. This is absolutely one of my favorites. So this one is, go to the next picture. This is the Sugar Mill Tabby Ruins, okay? And nope, we don't play baseball there. We don't play soccer there. Photographers go there. There's a bike rack there that the bike club put there. There's a walking trail that goes to the back that I usually take people in the backside. Tons and tons of history right here of South Georgia. Anybody know how it was powered? When they had a sugar mill there, how was it powered? That was the second source of power. The first source was cattle on the second floor. They put cattle on the second floor to turn the grain because all the area between Crooked River and Burrell Creek basically was under sugarcane. It was under sugarcane, and this was the facility. And so it was basically the first industrial park in Camden County. Okay, that was a sugar mill production. The cattle eat a lot, so they shifted. And this one, who lives in St. Mary's? St. Mary's, nobody? Okay, St. Mary's area. So if you look at the creek that goes from Burrell Creek, if you go back into Chatelawn, you see the creek that runs through there. That was a dug canal that went all the way to the Sugar Mill Tabby Ruin site, and they put a water power there. It failed because it's tidal. It's tidal. Sold to the band named Sterling, and it's got a McIntosh local name around here in McIntosh County, and then it went to Spalding. Mr. Spalding bought it. Another county in Georgia's named Spalding. Lots of history right there. Lots of history. Next slide. Another boat ramp up in that's Browntown. Okay, next one. That's up at White Oak Creek. All right. So go back one. Let me see. I didn't see that other picture. So look, see that right there? That part right there? That's the old rail bed. That's the old rail bed right there. So that rail bed, that's that 3.5 miles that we were talking about. That 3.5 miles goes up and down through there. So that was the railroad access into South Georgia. The boat ramp is there. If you look just further to the east, you would see I-95. Then you see US 17, then the railroad bed, and just to the, what I will call the west here, is the old Dixie Highway. And that was a major crossing route. There was a little ferry that operated through here. But we were doing this with a local group. It was, I got a phone call, and Mr. Llewellyn, the construction company, said, "Hey, Terry," goes, "I need to know how long that bridge is that goes across the Little White Oak Creek." I said, "You need something exact, or you just need like an estimate?" He goes, yeah, just give me an estimate. That's okay. So I go up there and I measure the thing, and it was a normal creek to me. That's all normal. I've been across it 100 times. I go up there and measure the thing. It's 180 feet wide. That creek is 180 feet wide. Called Mr. Llewellyn up in Atlanta. I said, "Mr. Llewellyn, it's 180 feet wide." He said, "Terry, every place else in Georgia, that's called a river." I said, "Well, in Camden County, it's a creek." I said, "Okay." So our waterways are super important, and that's why we kind of feature the boat ramps. It is super important. We live in a community that's surrounded by water. I believe in more access to the water. They were our travel routes. They're our source of food and energy and economics for a long time, so those are pretty important. Next slide, please. This is a fishing bridge also on the White Oak Creek. Next one. Playground up there in off of Highway 110. That's a very active field there. Lions Park. This one's in Woodbine. That's where the dog park is at. Riverfront Park, where we have the Crawfish Festival. That's for that one. The Greenway Trail. That's just the trail there in Woodbine. Liza Rudolph. It's another favorite of mine. Liza Rudolph. The next one. Yeah, that's fine. Liza Rudolph. You notice how this is nice and straight? That's a straight line. That's the same railroad bed that was in White Oak. It's the same bed right beside Woodbine. You don't see any cars right here, do you? You don't see any nothing. It's just a nice, comfortable, tree-lined path that the community connected to downtown Woodbine. One of the reasons it was put in like that was for low maintenance. Okay, a lot of enjoyment, but low maintenance. We want to be able to run a zero turn down there as fast as possible. Low maintenance inside there. But the other thing that's added right here on the sides right there, those are for the bus stops. Okay, so the kids can have a place to sit down and wait for the bus. That's all that is. And there's a community sign over there. You see the pavilion sign there. Just something simple like that. That's a good design. That's a good design. That'll work for many years to come. The entire rail bed is actually 68 miles. It's abandoned inside of the coast of Georgia. Sorry about that. This is the Laurel Island Parkway Trail. Mayor Day is there with us, cutting the ribbon. It's part of the East Coast Greenway, and it's just a fun trail. That's 10 feet wide. And look at all those people piled up on there. It's very comfortable if you want to go walk your dog, ride your bike. It's very, very comfortable to ride on. And it's not tree lined, it's hot. Okay, next. I think it's the last one, isn't it? That's the last one. Mr. Tom, went a little bit over. I'll be glad to take questions.
Do I hit the microphone?
Not using the mic. Can't hear on the record.
All right, my name is Alan Heckman. I live in St. Mary's Winding River. Okay. And I know this was completed, and I know the city's been working on a grant to further extend the Greenway down Winding River to join into Charlie Smith. Right. Where are we at with that?
Good question. So I'm not an elected official from St. Mary's. I'm not gonna dodge it. But no, it's not. It's not in that one. But over outside, I did actually bring a latest grant that we applied for that goes from Crook River State Park all the way down to Cumberland Island National Seashore with the trail that goes there, down Charlie Smith Senior Highway. There's right away there. That one. That one is that Winding Road. I'm very familiar with it because if you know Laurel Island, at Winding Road, the trail stops right there. And it's so stopped, so it does go down Winding. So there's purpose that way. It was a DOT grant, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it may be a TAP grant called a Transportation Alternative Grant. I've actually seen the drawings for it and the suggestions around Winding River, around the new development in there, around the school inside there. I'll find out for you though.
Yeah, I seen it too. I went on.
Yeah.
Gave my little vote to what was recommended, what side it stays on. But with the developments that are coming in, what we made, and I've talked to the city about it. I just thought maybe it was included on your future.
It's not in our plan because we were in our master plan. We actually told the team dive into our parks and recreation. Drive in right there. Now, trails and greenways are in the plan, including blueways, more river access, more kayaks, and those kind of things. But our trails and greenways. So, you know what? I need to double check. I think it actually is in our plan because it's going to be a multi-use path that goes down Winding Road. I think it is. They did tell us some values to put on trails and greenways to continue the efforts of what we've done so far. But I know that one is, for example, to me, I want to accommodate that school as much as possible. I do not want to have kids trying to cross Winding Road in a way that is not accommodating first safety elements inside that school, because that neighborhood coming there on that corner is large, very large. I personally believe the neighborhood developer should have an access point to the school that doesn't have to come out to Winding Road. That would be but I'll talk to planning and zoning. I'm going to double check that. But I know the one you're talking about. Oh, okay.
And school said no too.
School said no.
Because of security.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah.
So they want to come out and go.
You come out and go around. I got it. You got it. Do things up. Yes, sir, Mr. Seals.
I like this sound. This is a good presentation. You know, all I know, I just moved here 2015. You know, so, you know, I'm not from down here. My wife is from here. She's a Hutchinson. She knows.
That's a good thing. She's a Hutchinson.
And it's kind of interesting that, you know, one of the things, you know, with your briefing, that was beautiful. Because the only thing I know about the PSA, man, is what the negative stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it, you know, that negative stuff damaged the PSA big time. So I said, I gotta come here to know what the heck's going on. Yeah. You know, you presented this really good. I like that.
Hey, we don't try to cover stuff up. We know we have some bad history, and we're trying to overcome that. And it's a daily battle, and but it's a good battle. We're okay with that. All right. So
I just want to say that, you know, because for the record, because I mean, you know, I not knowing here, and coming in cold and kind of like, okay, what does the PSA do? You know, so you kind of gave me a lot more information.
I want you to come visit a park, and I hope you go visit Sugar Mill Tabby or those kind of things there. All right, so let me tell you a Hutchinson story. Okay, all right. So I know. So my youngest son is named Jordan, and so his coach from the rec department is named Hutchison, right? Wonderful gentleman. And so they had a tough season, and they were the Raiders. They were playing Pee Wee football. So my son's on the Raiders, right? And Mr. Hutchison, he was Coach Hutchison, good guy, right? And so he has this thing where he says, I'm not coming back and coaching anymore. I'm not doing this. And so the next season rolls around, and we're in Publix grocery store, and we're just kind of with it. And I said, hey, Jordan, that's Coach Hutchison. He comes right up to Jordan. He goes, Jordan, where are you at? Didn't you sign up for football? You said you weren't coming back. I didn't want to play for anybody else. We got him turned around, though, right quick. But I'll tell you this, too. It's because of the connections that you know, those kind of things, the sports, the relationships there, the walking, it just, all things work with parks. All things work.
Tom actually has a question.
Hopefully you can get into this, and we all know that based on the latest articles of the paper that you're still on the look for an executive. Can you explain how wide a net you plan on? I'm using the you, not necessarily just the PSA board, because I'm also interested in the relationship between the PSA board and the county on how this process works on casting the net as wide as necessary to get the right talent, and how do you go about not only the interview process but the final selection process? Can you just put some light on that, please?
Yeah, I'll walk you through that. It's a good question. Good question. So we'll go back just a few months. We had our executive director. His name is Buck Johnson. The board elected not to renew his contract. That's just as simple. We were going to go out for a search. Buck's a great employee. He's been with us a long time. He's got a value. He's a huge value to the organization. We just elected not to renew his contract as executive director. The executive director works directly for the board. We don't handle the day-to-day operations. That's the executive director. The communication is straight to the executive director. It is an important position for our community. So, and you see some of the things we identified tonight. We were looking for that. We have an HR department made up of one. Okay, made up of one. And so, how wide did we cast the net? We made sure we communicate with all the HR directors around the area, also between the counties and the cities. That net went on all the major sites, LinkedIn, all the major search sites, all the way through. We had applications from Illinois. We had applications from Albany. We had applications from Panama City. We had applications from Savannah. We had applications from Kentucky. Had a real good application from Kentucky. And then we set up a three-person team. Myself was on it. June Maxwell and Jimmy Smith were on it. We went through 90 applications. Those 90 applications, then we boiled that down to the top, basically the top 10. Those top 10 we invited for a personal interview or a Zoom interview. We set up our interviews, and then we boiled that all the way down to our final candidate. We made our final choice. We could not come to negotiation on salary. That's all it was. Good choice. Steve can back me up on this one. We hosted him here for a site visit. We did all the right things we could do. And we just couldn't come together, and it was completely friendly. It was no hostilities whatsoever. We went back in, and we're in the search mode once again for a new executive director. The county has been nothing but supportive. I talked to the county manager a couple weeks ago, and he's given me some more information to do some other extra type searches. And so we casted a wide net, a large net. Our first candidate that when interviewed, we had really strong connections with this gentleman from Panama City. And he had been in the Parks and Recreation business for 20 plus years. He just wasn't our sole candidate. And so state of Georgia requires when you do some executive type hires, you have to do a 2-week waiting period. So you can select your sole candidate, and then it goes into a process of background checks and medical checks and those kind of things there. So we followed all the rules of Georgia. We had great interviews. I think 7 out of the 9 board members were there at the interviews. Am I right, Steve? 7 out of 9. So it was, open. It was at the same time it was private, but to the board members. But yeah, we casted a large net. We did have some local folks applied also, but I just want to say the search went wide. It did go wide, and so we're back into motion. Yes, sir, Steve.
We did do that, and we had people applying from those positions. Matter of fact, all of our finalists were recreation professionals, and all of them were members of the NRPA, all of that.
Let me go one other follow-up with that also. Next week, if you go to the PSA, to the rec center, or look around, you're going to see some vacancies because we're sending. It was so important to get our staff of the PSA to the Georgia Recreational Programs Association meetings next week up in Athens, Georgia. So they're up there. This document, first time ever. CRT training, as far as I can tell, first time ever. We want to invest back into the staff. We want to get staff trained up. We want to move it forward. Yes, sir.
Just clarification. 2 minutes ago, I heard you say that PSA had a bad rep. I want you to know the PSA was one of the greatest things that happened to Camden County. It wasn't all bad. We had a few bad apples.
Bad apples.
So don't down the whole thing.
That's exactly right. It's not the whole thing. We had a bad apple.
Started from that.
Yeah.
And it was very good.
Yeah. So the part of the Public Service Authority PSA is the State of Georgia Authority, and it was designed on consolidation of services. So we didn't have duplicated of services, but also so that you have services that are countywide that serve the whole community equally. And that's the best way to do it. I really do believe in the Public Service Authority. I think it really does work. It was a good organization that started. Yeah, we had a bad apple.
So thank you all again.
Oh, sorry. Should have been passing this out. So it's an easy survey, and we're welcome. If none of the questions connect with you, you can put down your own questions back. Put down that question about the winding road. Just write winding road down, and I know what you mean. Yeah, winding road. I know what you mean. That'll follow up with that one, and then.
Does anyone have any final questions while you're filling out the survey? Or we pretty well covered?
Oh yeah, that was there's a diabetes walk this weekend also, and I don't have all the details to it, but there. I think it's on the track. The track. Yeah.
So if you don't ride bike, go walk in the diabetes walk.
Another public service announcement. All these places that Terry was talking about are now birding opportunities. When we do the Christmas bird count, we use the Tabby ruins for that. But there is a new group called the Camden County Audubon. And we're very active right now. We're having a birding festival in March at the park. But all these parks, recreation, outdoor Saturday mornings, we are doing bird walks.
Ask Trish about the rookery.
Oh.
Ask Trish about the rookery.
Well, not everybody has access to the rookery. I have this, yes.
So we can give Terry a round of applause. Thank you very much.
I'm going to turn this.
Well, one of the pictures you showed had no fence